Wait, have you ever been in a room full of people and felt like you were the only one actually awake? Not tired, not bored, just aware. Because here's the strange part. Deep thinkers don't just hear conversations, they analyze them. You're sitting with friends. Everyone's laughing. The jokes are flowing, but you're quiet. Not because you have nothing to say, but because you've already seen where every conversation leads. And this is where it gets disturbing. You notice the fake laugh, the forced smile, the subtle tension between two people who seem fine. Nobody else reacts, but you feel it instantly. Deep thinkers live in simulations. While others are reacting, they're already 10 steps ahead. And this is where it gets uncomfortable, because sometimes they overthink everything. Let me tell you a quick story. There's a guy named Ethan. At work, he barely talks, keeps to himself. People think he's shy, maybe even awkward. One day, during a meeting, everyone agrees on a great idea, except Ethan. He hesitates, and then quietly says, "I don't think this will work." The room goes silent, not because he's loud, but because he just said what everyone felt but couldn't explain. But here's the strange part. Ethan didn't just guess. He had already played out every possible outcome in his head before anyone even finished speaking. You send them a simple message. Okay, that's it. But in their mind, why just okay? Did I say something wrong? Are they upset? Was that passive-aggressive? And suddenly, a one-word reply becomes a full psychological investigation. Another moment, you're arguing with a deep thinker. You expect emotion. You expect shouting. But instead, they pause. They go quiet. Not because they've lost, but because they're analyzing you. Your tone, your choice of words, your intentions. And here's the unsettling part. They often understand your feelings better than you do. But this ability comes with a cost, because when you see too much, you can't unsee it. Imagine walking into a room and instantly sensing who feels insecure, who's pretending, who secretly dislikes who. Sounds powerful, right? But here's the strange part. It makes connection harder. Because deep thinkers don't just accept things at face value. They question everything. Why do they say that? What do they really mean? What's the intention behind this? And this is where it gets lonely, because sometimes they stop trusting what's simple. Let's go back to Ethan. After that meeting, people start noticing him more. They start asking for his opinion. But slowly, something changes. He talks even less. Why? Because now he realizes something terrifying. People don't always want the truth. They want comfort. And here's the twist. Deep thinkers often stay silent, not because they don't know, but because they know too much. You'll see them in conversations, listening more than speaking, observing more than reacting, smiling, but slightly detached. And this is where it gets interesting. They're not disconnected. They're just processing on a deeper level. But there's one thing most people misunderstand. They assume deep thinkers are cold, unemotional, distant. But here's the truth. They feel everything, just internally. A small comment that others forget in seconds, it stays with them for days. A slight change in someone's tone, they notice instantly. And this is where it gets intense. Their mind never really switches off. Late at night, when the world is quiet, that's when it gets loud for them. Thoughts racing, questions forming, scenarios playing out. Did I make the right choice? Why do people act this way? What am I missing? But here's the strange part. This is also their superpower. Because deep thinkers see patterns others ignore. They connect dots that seem unrelated. They understand people, situations in life, on a level that isn't obvious. And this is where everything flips. The same mind that overthinks is the same mind that creates insight. The same sensitivity that causes anxiety is the same sensitivity that builds deep empathy. So while others move fast, deep thinkers move accurately. But here's the final twist. They don't actually want to overthink. They don't enjoy the mental noise. They just can't turn it off. And maybe, just maybe, the reason you feel different, the reason you feel out of place sometimes, the reason you notice things others don't, isn't because something is wrong with you, but because you're seeing a layer of reality that most people never even realize exists. And once you see it, you can go back. So the real question is, are you overthinking? Or are you just thinking deeper than everyone else? And here's something I want you to think about. If this felt a little too real, then you're probably not like most people. So don't just scroll away. Subscribe, because the next video will show you how to control this mind instead of being controlled by it. And before you go, comment one word: aware. Let's see how many people are quietly seeing what others miss.